Hello everybody and welcome back to the Freakazoid's Den. Today was Star Wars Visions Day. Today is Wednesday, and I am so excited to be talking about this show. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I mean, some episodes I wasn't crazy about, but others I thought they were incredible. I think all the episodes in this lineup were very artistic and super wonderful to look at. And the fight scenes were so incredible. And all the different things that these anime studios were able to do with Star Wars was incredible to see. So I am super excited to be talking about all 9 episodes of Star Wars Visions with you all, and I think I'll get into them right now. I will be looking at these episodes in order of their appearance on the Disney Plus website, so in that case, I will be starting with The Duel. We open up with a classic Star Wars in space with the stars, panning down to a village, to a black and white mountain village. We're in this planet, and we're in a little village. A Jedi and his droid, or presumed Jedi and his droid, stand on a mountain, and this Jedi drinks and gives a shopkeeper money, most likely for the drink, of course. Stormtroopers use their machines to enter this village, and they attack it. The Stormtroopers are here to collect taxes, and a child chief of the village shows how his father is hurt, and he is kind of like the next in line to be the leader of the village. The village guards, who are some amazing designs, Star Wars character designs, fight back against the Stormtroopers in this really cool fight, and each guard from this village is unique, so it is very cool to see. A Sith Lord comes from the top of the Stormtroopers machine, almost on this platform, and the village guards shoot at the Sith to hold her back. The Sith has the spinning lightsaber, I don't even know what it's called, umbrella-looking thing. I don't even know what it's called, which we saw actually in the trailer as well, and one of the laser blasts hits the drink store. The Jedi wants his droid fixed because it caused an explosion in the store. And the village guards all get killed, just about, I think, except for one. Then, while his astromech droid, this Jedi character, like I said, presumed Jedi, faces off against the Sith, when he reveals his lightsaber, it turns out the color is red. The Sith removes her cloak, and the guy who owns the drink store, like I said, continues to fix the Sith Lord's droid, I guess. So now it's like the Sith versus Sith fight on a log running down a river. He puts away his lightsaber, our main character here. I didn't actually think I caught his name. I'll have to take a look at that later after I record this. But anyways, the burning teapot goes off, and his astromech goes to the village. It's all repaired, so it goes to the village, and it shoots its missiles to save the villagers from the troopers here. The main character, Sith Lord guy, is thrown off the log and lands down the waterfall, finds a house or some sort of building behind the falls, and then the Sith Lord, our enemy here, uses the log to basically open up a little space in between the falls to enter, and she is tricked, thinking that the Sith Lord main character is in front of her, but it ends up being a statue holding a lightsaber, and then she is killed. The guy returns to the village here. For the drink owners, the drink store owner's troubles, the Sith Lord character here gives him the spinning lightsaber, the umbrella-looking thing. I don't even know what it's called still. Anyways, he gives him that, just kind of, his whole shop was basically destroyed, so, Anyways, he shows his saber to the villagers, our main character, and destroys the female Sith Lord's lightsaber, and he collects its red kyber crystal. He gives the crystal to the villagers, and then he walks away with his astromech. And that was basically the end of the duel, which was really good. I really liked that one. It was a perfect start to Star Wars Visions and just kind of set up everything. And it was amazing. I loved it so much. So, next up we have, I guess the second episode here is Tatooine Rhapsody. Not one of my favorites, to be honest with you, but the opening was pretty cool. Our opening was a battle during the Clone Wars. We got to see a bunch of droids and I think Phase 2 clone troopers kind of on the ground here, and a very young Jedi falls off a ledge. his lightsaber breaks, and he kind of lands in some sort of, like, I think it was Geezer's, I don't know, like, house or something. I don't even know exactly what it was. It looked like a store for a minute, but I don't think it was. Anyways, our young Jedi here is named Jay, and we cut to Jay singing at a concert. He's with his band, the Star Wavers, or Star Waver, and then something clearly goes wrong because Boba Fett arrives, and Boba Fett tries to take Geezer away, and Geezer is one of the members of the band who is a Hutt, one of the Hutts. So, anyways, the band fights back against these bounty hunters, and Boba Fett attacks. The Star Waver band flies away, and Boba Fett tracks them, and then their ship crashes. Geezer is then once again taken by Boba, and Jay tries to use his lightsaber, but it fails. We have a little flashback moment to Jay meeting Geezer, and just kind of showing the connection that they have. And and then he kind of breaks down because, you know, he's without, like, the person that he was hanging out with for years. Anyways, we got to a pod racing tournament, and the Star Waver band, I don't know. I don't know if it was Star Wavers or just Star Waver. Anyways, they made a deal with Jabba. Star Waver would perform for the pod racing tournament as long, you know, for like one last time with Geezer before he's executed. And when they do perform, they perform really well. The crowd is cheering, and Jabba's guards come to collect him, but they decide not to, and they're like the number one band in the galaxy. That's their thing. They said they'll make a deal with Jabba to be the band sponsor. They're going to be the number one band in the galaxy, and Jabba seems to accept it, and, you know, happily ever after. Once again, these episodes are actually really short. I don't know if I ever actually ended up saying that, but these episodes are pretty short, so if, you know, it was pretty fast to just go straight through this, and this was a very simple story, and, but yeah, I don't know, it was fine. It definitely was not my favorite, but, it was fun, and I liked Geezer. He was a cool-looking character. Alright, the next episode in our catalog here, we have The Twins. This one was pretty good. I actually really liked this one, personally. But basically, we open up with two Star Destroyers. They're just kind of flying, and a Sith walks through a hallway of troopers. The Sith walks throughout the Star Destroyer, opens a crystal machine, and then we kind of cut, I believe, to another Sith who is basically there to complete her mission. The twins, which are twin Sith Lords, were created from the dark side and, you know, had like one specific goal. And they basically built what's called a dark energy blaster between two Star Destroyers that could destroy a planet, basically another Death Star, kind of. Anyways, they ready the hyperdrive cannon, and they then realize that the reactor core source had been stolen. Master Kari turned against the dark side, so he's like our hero of this episode here. And Master Kari stands against his own twin, whose name is Am, I believe, Am. And then Kari's astromech, I don't remember the astromech's name, controls an X-Wing and attacks Am and her Stormtrooper army. Am is then forcing down the X-Wing before they can escape, and gets the power core. Then we have a great fight between Kari and Am, where they have like a force battle almost, which is pretty cool to see. The power core casing is broken, and it reveals that it's a kyber crystal, and they use force lightning. The kyber crystal explodes. The force lightning is blasted to Am, and if Am uses the kyber crystal, she will die. We basically have, I don't know, this was kind of weird, and this kind of confused me for a second, but then I started to catch on. Kari showed Am what would happen to her if she was actually using the kyber crystal for herself. And that was kind of like a future flash forward. I don't even know how you would describe it. Anyways, Kar and Am, we're kind of back to like this beginning part where Kar and Am are facing off against each other, and they both have two halves of the kyber crystal. Am uses the kyber crystal to use its power and like places it within her armor, and then she gains like insane power. It's pretty crazy. Kar runs away as Am is like attacking him. Kar then uses his kyber crystal half and places it into his lightsaber so that he basically has a more powerful saber, I guess. I don't exactly know what the plan was there. But anyways, Kar versus Am once again. Kar is then blasted into space, and his astromech, who is controlling an X-Wing, saves him, which was cool. And Am has released too much power, kyber crystal power, and it's probably going to kill her. And then Kari, I keep saying Kari, because it's spelled Karre. So I'm thinking like Car. But no, I think it's Kari. Anyways, Kari and his astromech decide to think of using the lightsaber's power along with the hyperdrive to hopefully save Am from being like destroyed by the kyber crystal within her. And then there's like a giant lightsaber blade that Kari gets from, using his full power. Am is able to block it. Then they use the hyperdrive to send the blade through Am and remove the bad kyber crystal that's going to kill her. But then again, they use the hyperdrive, so they're basically blasting themselves into space. And Am just kind of floats there and is saved by her protocol droid, who was in the beginning of the episode but didn't really do much. He just kind of talked to her a little bit. So basically, while Car, oh sorry, I already said that. I have it in my notes here that Car is gone because of the hyperdrive, but we already said that. Anyways, Car, God, I keep saying Car. It's Kari. Kari then wakes up, and on like the backside of his crashed X-wing, and Kari wishes to search for Am. And that's basically where the episode ended. It ends on like a some sort of cliffhanger, like to start a show. A lot of these I think could be actual shows, and I think that'd be really cool. But they're probably never going to be. But I'm just saying it'd be very cool to see, because a lot of them kind of end on like this note where there could be more to the story. But we'll have to see what happens next, type thing. Anyways, that was basically the twins, and I think that was one of the cool episodes. Not one of the best though. There were others that were better. But that one was definitely good. That one was better than like Tatooine Rhapsody or something like that. Next on the list, we have The Village Bride, which this one was also pretty good as well, I'd have to say. So basically, we have like this something crashes in like the distance on this forest planet, and these two characters explore this forest planet, which we later know is a character named F and a character named, I believe, Azuma. I believe that's who it was. Because it's very tough to like actually know who these characters are, because we've never really met them before, and they're basically brand new, and they're not going to just come out and introduce themselves to the audience here. So it was a little tough to know exactly who their names are, but I believe it is F and Azuma. But anyways, in the distance, a man is carrying a seat with a woman on the back of it, and this ends up being the bride. The bride's parents, I believe, are dead after what they talked about, and the man, whose name is Azu or something, Asu, I don't know, climbs this mountain carrying the bride, who is Haru. They reach the top while F and Azuma watch. Asu and Aru power a stone on the top of the mountain, and like it turns everything blue, and apparently it's like I think it's supposed to be like the planet's core thing, and it like has memories of these kids making a stone path of the fish. Obviously, I think it's led to believe that Asu and Haru are the kids who that the planet has memories of. And once again, F and Azuma continue to watch. Asu carries Haru again, and they talk about how the Separatists strip the planet's resources, and one of the explorers, I believe Azuma, gets a memory of this war. Anyways, village people are serving food at this little celebration, while F and Azuma are actually at the celebration, and they continue to talk about how the Separatists left droids behind, and raiders reprogrammed them as an army of their own. So now they're kind of like this own militia with all these battle droids, which is pretty crazy to think about. They wanted the village chief along with multiple goods, but they obviously didn't take them, and the raiders are now coming to take Haru instead of the actual village chief. So a village girl named Saku, who is the bride's sister, or Haru's sister, talks about the villagers being ready to fight these raiders from taking away Haru, and they kind of have like a little resistance going on of like a couple of them, and they just decide to leave the celebration because Haru kind of accepts that there's no way they're going to get out of this. They don't want to have a fight with anybody or anything. Anyways, we kind of cut to like this night scene where F, who's kind of like our main character of this episode, is using the Force. Haru sees and talks to F about using the Force and how the planet can affect people like that. And Haru wants her village protected, so that's why she's willing to give herself up as a bride to protect her village. Anyways, F closes her eyes and sees a red lightsaber, which was interesting. She kind of had some like almost like flashbacks or blackout moments of like lightsabers and stuff like that. And then Asu and Haru prepare kind of like not for a fight, but they just kind of prepare for like the last moment that Haru would kind of be around, Anyways, F finally removes her mask, and that was kind of like a thing from the beginning that she always had this mask on, but now she finally removes it. Then it just kind of showed that she's finally revealing who she really is. The next day, the Raiders come to capture, or to take Haru, but they end up finding Saku, who was planning an attack on them. And then Saku is nearly executed, but F force holds the bullet and blasts it back at the leader, who I believe his name is Valko? Anyways, the battle droids are being shot at by Azuma, Azuma is a very cool character. I really liked him. He was sniping all the battle droids, and he throws his helmet, and it flies into, like, it has like a rocket on it, and it flies into the Raider ship and just explodes the entire ship. So that was pretty cool. And then Haru was held hostage by Valko, and F, we learn, is an actual Jedi with a yellow lightsaber, my personal lightsaber color. That is my favorite color, so I really like F as a character. And then F's boots kind of like do this unlock thing or open up, and then she does like a dash slice and kills Valko and saves Haru. F is thanked and then goes on alone without Azuma to explore the galaxy, because now she's, accepting that she is like a Jedi, and has a very cool yellow lightsaber, might I add. Like I said, yellow is my favorite lightsaber color, so this was great to see. I love yellow lightsabers. They are my personal color. But anyways, that was about it for this one. This one was actually really fun. I really liked this one. But we'll move on to this next one, which is the long one. The long episode. It wasn't even that long, but this is like the long one compared to all the rest of them. Next, we have the Ninth Jedi, which is the long episode, because I believe the studio who made this one, I don't remember who it was, but the studio who made this one pitched two separate ideas, and they ended up working it into one. So it ended up being the long episode, which I think was like 21 minutes or something like that. And basically we have the narrator kind of explaining what's been going on, the Jedi versus an army, and this guy named Juro is mining for kyber crystals, and all this sort of stuff, and enemies wish to hunt and kill the Jedi for a new Sith rule. I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff that's going on. It was kind of fast, so I was just trying to like type and listen to what the narrator was trying to say, so I probably got a couple things wrong there. But either way, we're moving on. We're basically in space, and this grapple gun arm grabs a floating rock in space that has a kyber crystal on it, and a ship enters a temple on like another asteroid, or thing like that. This Jedi character named Ethan was summoned from a transmission, and all these other Jedi were at this temple as well. They all answered the same call, and now we know that Juro is the ruler of High Islan. I don't actually remember exactly where it was, but anyways, this was like the temple of High Islan, and that's where all these Jedi were called to. And these Jedi are going to be given lightsabers, because apparently in this story, like, Jedis don't really have the resources to make lightsabers. They mainly are just Force users. So now they're finally going to be getting lightsabers, because they've been mining kyber crystals. These people have been mining kyber crystals and things like that. I don't know. It was very cool. And there was rumors of kyber crystals still existing. But can they trust Juro is the question, because he looked a little shady. Anyways, another Jedi walks in and is sensing the dark side and not the Force. This robot character shows up and introduces itself, I guess, to the 7 Jedi, saying that Juro doesn't actually physically introduce himself a lot, but he said that Juro will arrive at some point soon. Then we cut to another place on this planet where we have these grapple arms going to space collecting asteroids, just like we saw in the beginning, and Kara, who is our main character here, jumps on her speeder bike to reach one of these asteroids and go inspect it. We then cut again to a lightsaber smith. I didn't catch his name completely. They kept saying it, and I'm like, I don't know how to spell that. But anyways, I just called him the lightsaber smith. He's Kara's dad, anyway. And he's making sabers. He's making a bunch of lightsabers with all these kyber crystals that he's been collecting from space. And they kind of talk about how color and length will vary depending on the Jedi. Kara must develop a connection to her lightsaber in order to actually have it become a certain color. An enemy ship lands near Kara's house, and the lightsaber smith gives Kara the sabers to deliver them to the temple. Kara's father is basically saying bye to her, because he is probably going to be killed by these people who are the Jedi hunters, who wants to kill the Jedi, kill anything that ever means anything to Jedi, so that they can be the rulers here. This lightsaber smith is able to, I believe, use the Force to reflect a bullet into like this oven thing that's kind of cooking, or not cooking, but like, I don't know, it's some sort of thing that was used to make the lightsabers, and he forces a blaster shot into it and it explodes. Nobody dies, and he's captured, basically, in the end. Kara uses her speeder to escape, and then we cut back to this temple where the robot shows the 7 Jedi a real lightsaber. He actually has one, and Ethan is given it, which we learn why Ethan is the one who took it and not the other ones later. But basically, when he turns it on, it is blue. It's color blue. This episode's a lot about lightsabers, which is pretty cool. The remaining sabers should be arriving soon, and of course, Kara is the one to deliver them. So Kara is attacked on her speeder by the Jedi Hunters, and she blocks the bullets with her colorless saber, which is pretty cool to see. She basically has a saber that she turned on, and it's colorless. It doesn't have any color to it. The Force is strong with Kara, but she just doesn't know it. Kara jumps off her speeder, and then attacks the Jedi Hunter. And then she escapes on her speeder once again, or a speeder. I think she took the guy's speeder. But anyways, Kara then pleads with a droid to take her to the Aerial Temple, which is basically the High Islan temple where the Jedis are being held. The droid is on his break and then finally accepts. And then the 7 Jedi continue to wait. Kara arrives to the Aerial Temple, introduces herself to the Jedi, and the Jedi Hunters. And she talks about how the Jedi Hunters captured her father, and she needs help from these 7 Jedi to go save him. The Jedi become worried, and then we learn that the Jedi are actually Sith Lords after they're given all of their lightsabers. So that's why Ethan took the lightsaber, and it was blue. He's a Jedi, but the rest of those Sith Lords all didn't take that lightsaber because they knew if they ignited it, it would be red, and that could cause a problem for the remaining Jedi who are actually in this group here. So, except for Ethan, the rest are all Sith Lords. They all have red lightsabers, and they're all evil, because the deal was that all these Sith Lords have been killing these Jedi who were supposed to come to this meeting, and instead taking their place so that they can get real lightsabers. So, then we learn that the robot is actually Juro. Juro's been controlling this robot character, and the Sith wish to kill Juro so that he can stop Juro from creating the Jedi Order once again. Juro uses the Force to fight the Sith, then takes the lightsaber and continues to fight. Kara then helps by attacking some of the Sith as well, and Kara's saber then becomes green as she continues to fight. There was this amazing scene where Juro is facing off against one of the Sith Lords, and they have a Force lightning moment where Juro is kind of getting hurt. You know, he's having a tough time. His mask has been destroyed, and then Kara jumps in to save him. And she does. This guy gets disintegrated because he lands in this glass pool thing. I don't even know what it was. And then Ethan takes on the final Sith. The final Sith then gets a purple lightsaber, and Juro convinces him that this is not him. This is not who he actually is, and he decides to join Juro. So he's kind of turned from the dark side to the good side. And then they talk about restarting the Jedi Order, and the 4 Jedi, who would be Kara, Ethan, this other Sith Lord guy, and Juro, come together to go look for Kara's dad, along with the remaining Jedi who could still be out there, and rebuild the Jedi Order. Yeah, that was about it, but it was pretty cool. It was really, really cool. This was a good one. And again, this is the longer one, but this was definitely one of the better ones, I would say. Or not the better ones, but one of the good ones, I'd say. Alright, now we're moving on to one of the weaker ones, in my opinion, which is TOB1. You know, TOB1, Obi-Wan. Anyways. Yeah, this one I was not really feeling. I didn't really like this one as much, as you can tell by the change in excitement in my voice here as I'm going through my notes. But this was basically like Astro Boy, which is pretty cool. This is like a direct reference to Astro Boy. It was pretty cool. So basically, we open up with Obi-Wan. He becomes operational and explores Mitaka's. I don't remember how to say this guy's name. Professor Mitaka, or whatever his name is, his lab searching for a droid named CO3. Obi-Wan isn't allowed in the basement, and Mitaka wants life on the planet that he's living on. Obi-Wan wants to see the galaxy, though. Mitaka says the galaxy is dangerous, but Obi-Wan daydreams about being a Jedi, and he needs to find a kyber crystal first. If Obi-Wan wants to be a Jedi, Mitaka tells him that he needs to find a kyber crystal, which he believes there's one on this planet. So Mitaka wakes up, and TO1 is building a speeder to explore this planet for this kyber crystal, and Mitaka tells Obi-Wan to clear his mind and use the Force to find this crystal. Obi-Wan considers going into the basement, which he was originally not allowed to go into, because that was Mitaka's special secret place. So he goes into the basement looking for this kyber crystal and sees that Mitaka has a ship in the basement. Obi-Wan powers it up, and a Star Destroyer intercepts a call that Obi-Wan made to quote-unquote other Jedi type thing. Mitaka, we then learn, was a Jedi. He uses the Force and senses a Sith approaching. Obi-Wan must stay hidden and is given parts of a lightsaber before he is hidden away. Obi-Wan wakes up to Mitaka's lab destroyed, and I believe Mitaka had died during that fight. Obi-Wan hides the lightsaber pieces and decides that he wants to fulfill Mitaka's dream and searches for a way to make life on this planet. Clouds appear, and we learn that he succeeded, but then Obi-Wan gets his kyber crystal and now has a full lightsaber, but then the Sith Lord that killed Mitaka returns. Obi-Wan has a very cool, actually pretty cool looking fight between the Sith Lord, and Obi-Wan kind of goes in his own mind and sees a spirit version of Mitaka, and Mitaka kind of encourages him that he can do it and that he can defeat this Sith Lord. Obi-Wan is ready for this fight against the Sith Lord. I don't even know if there was a name for this Sith Lord. That's why I'm just calling him that. But anyway, his hand gets stabbed, and then some of his robots get destroyed. But CO3 gives Obi-Wan an upgrade armor thing, and the Sith becomes defeated. Then Obi-Wan leaves this planet to continue Mitaka's work of, growing life on different planets. And that was about it. Again, I don't want to stay on this one very long. I didn't really like this one much. It was just kind of really simple and very uninteresting compared to the other ones. Oh boy, we got a cool one. This is a good one. The Elder. This one was really cool. I really enjoyed this one overall. But basically, we have these two Jedi, a Master and a Padawan, Tajin and Dan, who are traveling. They're visiting the Outer Realm, but Tajin sensed a disturbance in the Force, and it was potentially a Sith Lord. Dan seems very eager to fight, which is interesting, and they travel to the planet of Habbo, I believe. Tajin and Dan walk along, Habbo, and explore it, and Tajin explains to Dan how the villagers here are shy. While Tajin talks with these villager parent people, or adults, I should say, Dan stays behind, and these little kids kind of spy on him, which is pretty nice. And we learn that an elder visited this planet, and that's very interesting. This elder went to the mountains by himself, and these mountains are usually very dangerous, so it's very weird. They must figure out who the elder is. Dan wishes to split up, and Tajin becomes convinced that he is ready to go. So then Tajin explains that Dan should get a guide, so they take the kids to guide him through the mountains. The kids guide Dan, while the village adults lead Tajin to the elder's ship. It's an old Sith ship, and Tajin warns Dan. Vamka, I think, is an animal. There was a Vamka carcass, which is on the mountains, and they're usually very tough, aggressive creatures to defeat, I believe, which was what Tajin explained to Dan before going up the mountains. Tajin tells Dan to turn back, and when Dan is about to turn back, a cloaked figure appears in front of him. It's the Elder. Dan challenges the Elder, and then we have this very cool, I would say relatively short fight between the Elder and Dan. The Elder sees how Dan is not extremely powerful in the Force compared to Tajin, and Dan is actually sliced in the stomach, which was very sad. I actually thought he died, but he didn't. Anyways, Tajin senses it and rushes over to go to the mountains. The Elder waits by Dan, who is, I guess, kind of slowly dying at this point. And then we have an even better fight, much better than the Dan versus the Elder fight. We have a Tajin versus the Elder fight because they're both very skilled fighters. The Elder uses his Force lightning, and while he's doing that, Dan, who wakes up, forces his lightsaber to distract the Elder, and Tajin is then able to kill the Elder. The Elder then detonates his ship and disintegrates into the ground. Tajin and Dan kind of discuss the situation, and that was really about it. Oh my god. Please make a show about this. That would be kind of really cool. Even if it's not canon, I don't really care. I love Tajin. I love Dan. Well, yeah. And that whole story was super duper interesting. But anyways, that is definitely one I'd want to see become a full-blown show. But anyways, we'll move on to the next episode here, which I think we're getting kind of close to. I think we're in the last two here. Next up, we have Lop and Ocho, and this one, I think this one was kind of a little bit fast-paced. This one was really moving. They just didn't stop. They were just boom, 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 boom. Things are happening. But anyways, we start up with the Star Destroyer, who kind of arrives, and Tau, which is this planet, invited the Empire to kind of help modernize it a little bit. But it's starting to kind of backfire on them, and the people don't really like this Imperial takeover that the Empire is starting to do on this planet. We see Lop, who is kind of our main character here, Running with fruit, she is then captured and reaches for food, but a character named Yasaburo, I believe, stops her. I don't remember exactly how to say this guy's name, but he's like the other main guy here. And Ocho, who is Yasaburo's daughter, invites Lop to join their family. Yasaburo refuses to allow it, but Ocho takes Lop anyway. Lop is now Yasaburo's protege. 7 years later, Lop is caught in an explosion. Yasaburo caused the explosion. Ocho and Yasaburo argue about the Empire, and because they both have different beliefs. Ocho thinks the Empire is doing good, and that it's going to help Tao no matter what, but Yasaburo disagrees. The Empire approaches and the crowd disperses. Lop wants their family to stop fighting. Ocho and Lop are stopped on the street by an Imperial officer, who looks very anime-esque, might I add, but he was very cool looking. And Ocho made a deal with the Empire. Then Ocho betrays Yasaburo, the clan that Yasaburo has, and Ocho joins the Empire, and then Lop escapes. Lop returns to Yasaburo's home. Just about every member of Yasaburo's clan left him, which was pretty messed up, and Lop tells what Ocho did to Yasaburo. Lop follows Yasaburo. Yasaburo shows Lop his lightsaber, and Yasaburo executes a ritual with Lop instead of Ocho. So this is kind of like, it was pretty messed up when you think about it, that this was basically the end, because this was like a whole family ritual, like each child would be given this lightsaber, and they would be like the next to join the clan, next to be the leaders of the clan next in line. But considering Lop isn't of Yasaburo's blood, this is kind of like that whole ritual is kind of ending. And it was pretty messed up, but they made it better because they were saying that Lop is a part of the family no matter what. So that was pretty cool, but still, it was a little messed up. Anyways, Lop is given Yasaburo's lightsaber, and then Yasaburo leaves to meet with Ocho. Within the city, and there's an explosion that happens, and Lop drives a speeder to where the explosion is. Lop floats using her umbrella thing, and the Yasaburo clan fights the Empire. We have this fight between Yasaburo and Ocho, who Ocho has basically just became like a really quick villain, like immediately almost, and Yasaburo loses his other eye because Ocho stabs it, or cuts it or something. I don't remember what happened. Anyways, Lop then blocks Ocho's attack, which would have been, I believe, the finishing blow to kill Yasaburo. Then we have a pretty good fight between Lop and Ocho, and then Lop's droid is destroyed. We didn't really talk about the droid because he didn't really do much except for take a picture, but basically that droid got destroyed by Ocho. Lop then uses the Force, and then Lop almost kills Ocho, but Ocho escapes. So there's definitely more to the story that could be told. I just don't know if it actually will. I don't think any more of these stories will actually be told. It's just very cool that these exist in a non-canon universe, I guess. That these are even a thing, that they even exist. But anyways, that was basically it for Lop and Ocho. Yeah, it was pretty good. I think it was like a mid-range. I think there were some that were much better. But yeah, this one was still pretty good. All right, our final episode here in this Star Wars Vision show is Akakiri. I think this is supposed to mean something. And when I looked it up, it was Swalhi for he agreed. I don't think that means anything, but there's maybe it does. Because in the end, the main character agrees to join the... I don't know. Anyways. Basically, we open up with a crashing ship, and these horse-looking things, Star Wars horses, approach it, and these, tribal-looking soldiers approach a Jedi. The Jedi defeats these tribal soldiers because they're aggressive, and Tsubaki, who is the Jedi, I believe his name is, gets, this blackout hallucination type thing of a lightsaber cutting down people and things like that. A rain of arrows attacks these tribal soldiers, and then Tsubaki is knocked out, and then is saved by a character named Misa. Tsubaki wishes to help Misa defeat the Sith in the royal family Masago. Misa can't get close to the palace, and these two characters, Senshu and Kamahachi, are vital to the mission because they know the way to go, and they know some people that can get them to the palace easy. The group travels, and they get surrounded, but they must then travel through the place of the gods, I believe it's called, which is very treacherous. Kamahachi was lost. He got lost during traveling up the place of the gods, and Tsubaki travels to get Kamahachi back. He travels back. And Misa and Senshu arrive in a small town and are staying in a small hut. Tsubaki returns with Kamahachi. Kamahachi and Senshu are then paid, and then Tsubaki gets another blackout hallucination moment. Then Misa and Tsubaki begin their attack. A flashback to when Tsubaki and Misa were at the temple together, and they seem to kind of have some sort of relationship. Of course, Tsubaki is a Jedi, and Misa is I guess, a royal family. But Jedi aren't allowed to have romantic partners, so obviously this was a very like Anakin Padme story, kind of. The flashback ends, and Misa and Tsubaki find Masago, and they fight her. Tsubaki versus Masago, there was a fight there, and Senshu and Kamahachi are captured. Tsubaki's mind flares up again with this like little blackout hallucination thing, and this one kind of depicts a lightsaber cutting down this guard, one of Masago's guards. Misa is captured, and a young Tsubaki is talking with I believe his master about an ongoing dream, which could, kind of relate to the dark side. Tsubaki breaks through the dream and fights Masago's guards. Tsubaki then kills one of the guards, just like his dream, and I believe one of the guards was Misa. This part kind of got a little confusing. I don't think it was confusing to me. I think it was just confusing to write out in like a notes. Anyways, Masago and Tsubaki try to help to save Misa. Misa is revived, and then Tsubaki becomes Masago's apprentice. They then fly off. So, yeah, again, Misa was like cut down, revived, and I don't know. I feel like whenever I'm like reading my notes, it's just confusing me more and more. But it was very interesting. It was an interesting ending. But that was basically it for Akakiri, I think it was. That was pretty much it for Star Wars Visions. That was all 9 episodes I just ran through. And yeah, I mean, I wish to see a lot of these be like actual shows. I don't think they ever will be, but like some of them, like I don't know, they could do more with the characters from the Duel, that main Sith Lord, and then his astromech, and just kind of do like this show where he's just going around different planets, different towns, and just trying to liberate them. And it felt very like Avatar to me, kind of. Gave me a little bit of Avatar vibes with like the setting that they were in. But I think that one would be really cool. Tatooine Rhapsody, I don't want to see more of. I wasn't crazy about that one, honestly. The twins, I think, could be interesting. I wasn't as crazy about this art style as some of the other ones, but I think this one would be pretty cool because we basically have like a cliffhanger ending, kind of, where the character Am is just with the protocol droid floating in space, and Kari is with his astromech, just kind of saying that like he's going to find her one day. The Village Bride could, I don't know, this one kind of, because I think the character F from the Village Bride episode could be, like, they can continue that story. I just don't think, like, they'd ever return to, like, the actual setting of the Village Bride, or to return to, like, the characters Haru and Asu and Izuma and everything like that. The Ninth Jedi, this one is a no-brainer. They totally should do a show off of this. That'd be kind of crazy, because they basically set it up, They're going to have all these different things that they can do with it now, and I believe this is supposed to take place after the Rise of Skywalker, I think. I might be wrong about that one. So maybe they could maybe they might have a little bit more, a better chance than some of the other ones, because they're kind of after everything, and I think this is definitely an interesting story to do, with them, like, looking for other people, other Force users, and giving them lightsabers, and looking for her dad and everything. I think it'd be pretty cool if they were able to do something like that. Obi-Wan, I don't care about at all. I don't want to see any more of that. That one was kind of boring to me. The Elder with Tajin and Dan, that would be pretty cool, of them just trying to figure out what's up with like these Sith Lords who are like disintegrating. They're getting older and they just disintegrate. It's all weird stuff. Same thing with Lop and Ocho. There's stuff that they could definitely do with that. It's not something I exactly want to see as much as some of the other ones, but there's definitely an option for that. And then Akakiri, no, that one kind of ended off pretty well, I would say, so I don't think I really need to see any more from that. But, yeah. So, I guess that's about it, honestly. I mean, I really enjoyed Star Wars Visions overall. Like I said, there are some episodes that were better than others, and I think I'm going to probably do, like, a little, like, ranking list of all of them, and just to see, like, which ones were my favorite, which ones weren't. But, yeah, for now, I'm going to end that there. If you enjoyed that video, do the common YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you when I post the next video in the future. See you guys.